Can the heroes of the Marvel Universe bring peace to the planet Earth in only a few hours? If it means staving off Judgment Day, they'll most certainly try. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Judgment Day issue number 4 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we rejoin the series, things have most certainly gone from bad to worse. Regular everyday people now know about the celestial god and his plan to destroy the entire planet if the population does not end up meeting his very fractured criteria and get a big old thumbs up. Captain America is doing everything he can to try and keep the peace, but hey, let us not forget the Celestial gave him the thumbs down, so why should anyone listen to him anymore, right? Yeah, humanity has started eating itself. The Rebel Eternals and the Avengers are betting everything they have left to try and save the planet on one long-shot Hail Mary play, and that is, of course, releasing Uranus, aka the former Avenger Starfox, in hopes that his amazing ability to manipulate people's emotions will allow them to either sway the planet or sway the progenitor, whichever comes first. The truly funny thing is that Uranus himself isn't exactly on board with this plan. He had spent so much of his life actually messing with people's emotions without consent, and he's not stupid. He knows full well that saving the Earth and making everyone love each other by force isn't really actually doing anything heroic. It's just putting a band-aid on a bunch of really bad problems. Sadly, no one in the superhero community has any better ideas right now to deal with the impending destruction of the entire Earth. From here, we actually get treated to several very interesting panels as we see Starfox travel the world, meeting with presidents, kings and queens, captains of industry, doing everything he can to try and sway them to his new plan. Now, obviously, there's a carrot at the end of this stick, too. And that is, of course, that if everyone on Earth agrees to play nice with each other when everything is said and done, they'll have access to amazing eternal technology as well as even more mutant gifts. Also, the few panels wherein we see some of our favorite Marvel heroes have their own run-in with the Celestial God are probably more interesting than a bunch of the tie-ins we've already gotten to this book. Like, Daredevil gets a thumbs down from God and he weeps because he's filled with so much Catholic angst. He knows that he's tried to live by such a rigid code, but that he's broken that code more times than he can count. Miles Morales is so busy running around and being an actual hero that when he gets a thumbs up from the Celestial God, he just gives a thumbs up right back. Doctor Doom is actually given a challenge by the Celestial God to say that Reed Richards has always been smarter, but all Doom does is end up laughing and walking away, which in turn actually earns him a thumbs up. Now, with Starfox's job done, it's up to the rest of the heroes to deal with the Droog problem. After all, they can save mankind, but they're still going to have to end this war between the Eternals and the mutants. Iron Man wonders why they just can't go to where Droog is and beat him up like any other villain, but the Eternals are quick to tell him that no non-Eternal can travel on their subspace highways. It's made abundantly clear that the only way they're going to beat Droog and end the war is if they can get him to come to them. Of course, even if they beat Droog, there's still the matter of Uranus. Thanos' great-great ancestor, who was already able to destroy the entire mutant colony of Mars in just a few minutes. Imagine what he could do if he was let loose on Earth. With his back against the wall, Droog figures now is the only time that he'll be able to call together the entire Eternal community to create the biggest, strongest Unimind ever assembled. The good movie-adjacent Eternals join the Unimind, if only so they can call for a vote for a brand new Eternal Prime, and yes, apparently that is something that you can just do in Eternal Society. Now, if you read Kieran Gillen's Eternal series, then you'll know that no one really liked Droog, and he only won the last election as something of a compromise candidate. How do Cersei, Icarus, and the other good Eternals hope to defeat Droog this time? Well, simple. They cheat. They end up opening the Unimind to all of the mutants' most powerful psychics, and their votes actually end up counting, meaning Droog is out as Prime and Eros the Starfox is crowned the brand new leader of the Eternal people. Of course, Droog, being such a sniveling little snake in the grass like he is before he leaves, is sure to undo a bunch of the Eternal Prime protections and turns Uranus loose. Figuring, hey, if he can't rule, if he can't protect the machine that is Earth, he'll just have this crazy guy burn the whole thing to the ground. But wait, are you ready for a twist? The mutants and the other assembled heroes were ready for this. In fact, Uranus is met by none other than Magneto and Storm, the two most prominent mutants of the Mars colony that he destroyed. They know now if they can fuse their powers and create a strong enough electromagnetic pulse, they can actually ever so briefly divorce Uranus from the Eternal Arsenal. It takes an incredible amount of power, so much that it's implied that Magneto may very well have sacrificed his whole life to do this, but hey, don't worry, he got a thumbs up from the Celestial for doing so. With his connection to the armory broken, Iron Man takes over the weapon systems and actually turns it against Uranus, completely destroying him. He's not gone forever, though. Remember, he's an Eternal, and he'll simply be reborn again. Though only the Eternals themselves know that, the X-Men and Avengers don't. Icarus and the others promise that they will deal with the problem before it becomes a problem yet again, while also still actively trying to hide the deep dark secret behind eternal resurrection, and that every time one of them comes back to life, a random human loses their life. For all their trouble, too, Icarus ends up getting a thumbs up, even though he was the angriest with the Eternals as a people and really gave God a piece of his mind in the last tie-in issue. Cersei, surprisingly, gets a thumbs down, despite the fact that the plan that ended up working and ending the war was hers in the first place. Cersei takes it with good humor, though, making a crack about how maybe God doesn't like that she doesn't wear green anymore. Man, that is a fun, deep cut. So now that the worst of the battle is over, the new Prime Starfox is able to address the Celestial God directly. He says, hey, look, we're starting to turn stuff around, right? Aren't you happy now? But also, you know, we're probably going to need a bit more time. I mean, this much change this quickly. How were we ever supposed to do any of that? If you just give us till tomorrow, I'm sure we can make everyone love each other and bring peace and prosperity to planet Earth. Only here's the problem, though. The progenitor, this Celestial God, is sick of waiting. He says that the problem with planet Earth is that they have always operated under the assumption that there will be a tomorrow, but that as of right now, their time has run out. The progenitor ends up giving his final judgment, and he gives Earth one big giant thumbs down. And as the comic comes to a close, people start dying all over the known world. And so that was Judgment Day issue number 4, everybody, and I gotta say, just when I think I know where this series is going, just when I think I got the whole thing clocked, give it to Kieran Gillen for completely changing the rulebook. I applauded this series very early on for embracing the sadly much too topical apocalyptic tone, and I gotta say they're really taking that to its ultimate conclusion here in this issue. I mean, it's a pretty ballsy move at the halfway point of your series to just be like, nah, the heroes couldn't save everyone, people couldn't even save themselves, and surprise, surprise, a bunch of people end up dying, and that way I think Judgment Day might actually be one of the bleakest Marvel stories they've told in a very long time. Gillen has basically walked the entire universe into the darkest abyss, and now I'm just sitting here wondering how the hell does he plan to get everyone out again. One also can't deny that Judgment Day is trying to be a much more high-minded sort of comic book event. Oh sure, you got heroes punching each other, but there's also a lot going on about religious dogma and judgment, the current state of the world, and the important lessons we all only ever seem to learn when it's too late. It's certainly not dull, that's for sure, which is why I would give this one a very positive 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.